Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at SprinkledWithGlitter.com. Welcome to my craft room and thanks for joining me here on the Scrapbook.com YouTube channel. I'm excited for you to be here today because I'm introducing you to my brand new line with Spellbinders. It's called It's My Party and it's perfect for every celebration. So let's have an up close look at the brand new stamps, stencils, dies, and hot foil plates that I've designed in collaboration with Spellbinders. So here's a look at my brand new collection. You can see it's full of hot foil plates, coordinating dies, stencils, stamps, and more. And as I mentioned before, these are perfect for any celebration. I designed these with giant balloons in mind, but they don't just stop there because with the add-on of the stencils and coordinating hot foil plates and dies, you can make these into disco balls, lollipops, ornaments, and more. I even have designed a little leaf in here so you can make this giant balloon bouquet into a little cluster of cuties. And then of course I have some coordinating perfectly sized hot foil sentiments to coordinate with these balloons, an even more giant birthday balloon or celebration balloon, and a balloon garland stamp set along with coordinating stencils to quickly and easily color these balloons in with 4 different colors. I'm starting out with a piece of cardstock from the Sherbert Smooth Cardstock collection from Scrapbook.com and the Party Balloons Bouquet hot foil plate. I'm going to use this here and set it right on to my Gemini foil press. I will be using my Gemini Junior in the Petal Pink, which is exclusive to Scrapbook.com to do my foiling and die cutting today. I have my hot foil plate on the platform and I'm going to use this piece of prism foil. This is from Spellbinders. I'm going to place that with the pretty side of the foil facing the pretty side of the plate. I'm going to add this beautiful mint colored cardstock right on top. I'm going to set my timer on my foil press for 1 minute and I'm going to start the timer and then I'll add the shims on top. Once my timer is completed, I'm going to go ahead and remove the platform from the base and run it through my Gemini Junior in this beautiful pink color. And now it is time for the reveal of these beautifully holographic foiled balloons onto this mint cardstock. So beautiful. But let's use the stencil and add some designs. Now I'm going to be doing some stenciling, and so I'm going to use my Scrapbook.com sticky mat to hold my paper and my stencil in place while I work. And this is kind of clear, so it's hard to see on my work surface, but I'll just place this down. You can see I have trimmed down my cardstock panel here just to make it a little easier to work with. And the Balloon Bouquet Design stencil comes with these fabulous little masks so that you can line them up and protect the areas where you don't want to stencil. And I'm just going to hold this mask in place with a little bit of Scrapbook.com mint tape. And I'm going to line up the striped stencil right over that second balloon in my balloon cluster here. And I'm going to press the stencil onto the sticky mat, and then I can go ahead and start working. Now, if you want to mask off areas around the stencil so you don't accidentally get ink on those areas, you can use a little bit more of the Scrapbook.com mint tape to do that. Now I have just a little bit of my Scrapbook.com Cloud Whip here, and I am just going to spread a nice thin layer over the top of this striped stencil. And once I'm done adding this Cloud Whip to my stenciled area and masked area, I'm going to go ahead and take my stencil directly over to my sink and just wash off any excess so that my stencil is ready to go for the next time I want to use it. I'm just going to gently peel up my stencil and reveal those stripes that are within that little second balloon there. I think this is so much fun. And then I can also pull up this mask that I've taped down with my mint tape and wash that as well. And you can see that that does a great job keeping that design right within that balloon. And there's confetti and a disco ball design and this little swirl design. So many ways that you can customize these balloons. Now I'm going to set this aside and let that dry, but to remove this from my sticky mat, I'm just going to simply roll my sticky mat away from my cardstock so that I don't bend and roll my cardstock. And then I can set this aside and let that cloud whip dry and work on my sentiment. Now I need another balloon string, so I'm going to go ahead and foil that at the same time. And now I have the Eat Cake sentiment from the It's My Party Glimmer Sentiments coordinating stamp or hot foil plate and die set. And I'm going to foil this on a piece of acetate because I'm going to make that balloon into a shaker window, which is what I think is the coolest part about this coordinating die set. And I want that sentiment foiled on my shaker window. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for a minute. I'm going to let that heat up and then I'm going to run it through my Gemini Junior again. My timer's done, so I'm just removing the platform from the base and running that through my Gemini Junior. I love this pink color. Now I have a perfectly hot foiled sentiment on this acetate, and I have a second balloon string on my mint colored cardstock as well, and I'm ready to start die cutting some of these pieces out. I'm just using some mint tape to hold this little die in place, and then I'll run that through my Gemini Junior. My cloud whip is dry, and so now I can use the coordinating die to go ahead and die cut my balloon bouquet here. I'm just gonna line that up. You'll notice that this die actually has a couple of extra little pieces, and that actually cuts a slit so that you can slip your balloon string in there. It looks more like the balloon string is coming from the balloon rather than sitting in front of it. I can also line up this die, which cuts the inside of that complete balloon here that sits in the front. And I am going to use that in this case to make a shaker card. And I love that you can use this interchangeably, so you can either die cut just the balloon cluster or you can die cut the balloon cluster with the shaker window as well. So I'll just run that through my Gemini Junior. And then I can pull that off and I have my balloon bouquet with my shaker window and my cloud whip stripes all ready to go on my card. Now I've gone ahead and decided to do a little more stenciling. So I have my masks in place and I'm using my Scrapbook.com sticky mat to hold my stencil in place over my die cut balloons. So you can either stencil before or after you die cut. And then I'm going to remove that stencil and I am going to take a solid piece that I die cut and I am going to add just a little bit of confetti to this one here. Now I don't have to be real careful about where I position this because it's just going to serve as a backdrop in my shaker window. So I'm just going to position that, hold it in place with my sticky mat and just blend some ink right over that to give it a little bit of pattern. And that way, when all of my shaker bits fall to one area, this balloon will still have a little bit of pattern in it. And now I have 3 balloons with 3 fun designs. And keep in mind that if you do this on a plain white colored cardstock, then you can actually add color with your ink blending and your stencils as well. I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back of my balloon cluster here and add my sentiment window that I foiled earlier. And then quickly line this up behind my balloon shaker window. And I'll give that just a few minutes to dry and then we can build up our shaker. Now, one of the best parts about this die is that it actually creates little slits for these balloon strings to slide into, so they actually look like they are a part of the balloon. So I'm just going to take these balloon strings that I've foiled and then die cut, and I'm going to slide them up into the slits to attach them to the balloons, and that gives it a completed look. And I really wanted these to be separate so that you could use these as balloons, or you could change them into different things depending on what design of the stencil that you use. Now these Scrapbook.com foam adhesive strips are perfect for this next part because I need to add a little dimension in order to create my shaker well. And these are nice and thin, so all I have to do is remove them from the carrier sheet. And then I've gone ahead and removed the backer, and that makes it even more flexible so that I can form it around the shape of this balloon. And I'll have that dimension built in so I can add pieces inside the shaker window and create a shaker card. And when I bring this to a close, I'm just going to make sure that the ends of my foam adhesive touch. And then I'll use the leftovers on these balloon strings down here at the bottom. And I'll add more foam adhesive around the other areas of my balloons. And then I can attach it to the backer that I created. Just gonna add a few little sequins into the well that I've created using that foam adhesive from Scrapbook.com. Those strips are so perfect. I already have the adhesive exposed, so I'm being careful not to flick them out or get them on the adhesive. And if they do, I'll just remove it before I place my backer. This is just that solid die cut that I use to die cut the outline of my balloons, and I'm just lining it up with the piece that I've added my ink blending and my foiling to close up my shaker window. That is so cute. And then I'm just gonna adhere it right on here, add my third balloon string, and our card will be done. So here's a look at the completed card project. So much shine with all that foil, and I love how this sherbet background paper looks with the It's My Party collection. So here's a look at the completed card project, a fun shaker featuring the It's My Party collection, along with some exclusives from Scrapbook.com. I went ahead and created a couple more projects featuring the other products in the It's My Party line, and you can see what a fun, colorful collection of cards this is. Thank you so much for joining me here in my craft room today. I hope you've enjoyed this exclusive look at the new It's My Party collection from myself, Carissa Wiley, and Spellbinders, and I hope you'll check it out in the Scrapbook.com store.